Ninth episode begins with Aunt Phoebe march through town to meet up with the Mayday trucks. As vehicles carrying guardians chase them, June yells for the ladies to run. Then some of the bombs that Mayday placed go off right as the guardians' cars drive by. Janine is surprised to learn that Moira and June are planning to stay in Gilead, though their truck will take everyone else past the border. Janine announces that she's staying as well because Charlotte's still here, just like Hannah. We learn that Aunt Phoebe's name is actually Ava. It's all fun and go live your lives speeches until they stop at the place they're supposed to pick up some other handmaids, and no one is there. Suddenly, an eye rips open the door and hauls everyone out, demanding that June Osborne announce her presence. He pulls another handmaid out of the group and is about to have her shot when June steps up. She's quickly carted off while the others, who have good reason to be extremely afraid, watch. "I love you," June says as she's pulled away. The Lawrences are hiding out at home when Serena comes knocking. Naomi can't understand why the new Mrs. Wharton left her husband on your wedding night, but Serena's got bigger problems. "I just saw a handmaid kill a wife in front of me," she reports. She adds that there are bombs and they have to leave for New Bethlehem, but he says they can't go. She intuits that he's got inside information and asks what's happening. "Rebellion," he says. The next morning, we get a casualty update from Naomi. The handmaids took out 37 commanders, and she called High Commander Wharton, who's waiting for her in the Lawrence's entryway. He asks her to forgive him for speaking sharply to her the night before, and tries to placate her by suggesting that they try for a child on their own. No handmaid, no ceremony, just us. He also wants her to join the other wives and children at a secure location outside of Boston, but she refuses. He asks her then to stay put at the Lawrences while he deals with those ungodly women here and then flies to Washington that evening. He also tells her that June used their wedding as an opportunity to arm the handmaids and drug the commanders, which truly stymies Serena. "I thought that we were friends," she breathes. He is condescending and patronizing in the most Wharton way possible, as he reassures Serena that June will be taken care of. Then he leaves. Wharton goes to talk with June, who is being held in a cage. He lets her out, and her first question is whether Serena was the one who exposed her. He says no, and she should have more patience with Serena's ideas for handmaid-related reforms. "Patience is not an option," she says flatly. Wharton hates her. The feeling is mutual. He spouts a lot of holy babble at her, and she calls him out. "Frauds, all of you," she says. "It's never been about piety. It's always been about power." He mocks her for feeling powerful, but she doesn't take the bait. Before he goes, she wants him to know that my God, Serena's God, is a God of love, and he that dwelleth in love dwelleth in God. Choose love. Be the man that she believes you can be. Wharton walks away. As Naomi and Angela prepare to be taken to the secure location, a subdued Lawrence double-checks that his wife has packed the little girl's art supplies. He also gives her a book to read their daughter before bed, and exhorts Naomi to feed the smart little kiddo's hungry brain. Then Angela comes downstairs, and Lawrence hugs and kisses her goodbye, telling her he loves her. He lets Serena know that he's going to meet up with the surviving commanders to figure out what's next. She's incensed that he can just go along with things as they were. "June is going to die," she says, on the verge of tears. Lawrence sincerely asks if they can pray for her, and once Serena gets over her shock, they do. In the middle of town, June is marched out on an elevated platform that has a gallows on it. Aunt Phoebe is standing under one, the noose already looped loosely around her neck. A large crowd of Econo people has gathered to watch Wharton lead a mass killing of the handmaids involved in the Red Wedding. He spouts a lot of scripture, then Aunt Lydia is marched out on stage next to June. Next, Moira, Janine, and all of the other handmaids are brought up from the truck where they're being held. He blames Lydia and offers her a chance to atone to God before she is killed. She does start to pray aloud, asking the man upstairs to have mercy on my precious girls, for they have been prisoners of wicked, godless men. June looks surprised and appreciative as Lydia is manhandled into a noose of her own. As Wharton continues to blather at June, Luke, Rita, and a bunch of others move from the back of the crowd to the front. They've got weapons. June whispers to Wharton that she wants to atone for her transgressions. He gives her the chance to speak. June apologizes for failing her friends. She prays that God protects your humble servants. Let them know their lives are worthy, and their hopes, their dreams mean something. The executioners move toward her, placing the rope over her head. Then, as she pulls at the binding around her throat, she's hauled up into the air and hanged. The moment is a catalyst for Mayday, which begins its assault with grenades launched at the Gilead vehicles near the platform. Snipers on nearby roofs start to take out the Guardians. Luke wields an automatic weapon, and he kills anyone impeding Mayday's fight. Moira and the other handmaids work to free each other from the ropes and fastenings that bind their hands. And Rita shoots and kills the man operating the crane that hanged June, reversing the mechanism so that she falls to the platform. As the handmaids spill into the crowd, using their knives at will, Phoebe gets hold of a gun and a billy club and uses both as though she's been professionally trained. Luke makes it to the stage and ascertains that his wife is still alive, though gasping and dazed. As she stares up at the sky, American military jets scream into the picture and drop bombs on key Gilead targets. Speaking of the U.S., Serena is shocked when American soldiers storm into Lawrence's home, followed quickly by Mark Tuello. He demands to know where Lawrence has gone. Then he not roughly but also not gently grabs her arm to move her out to someplace safe. Rose wakes Nick, who's fallen asleep at his desk, to tell him something is wrong with the baby. So he's at the hospital when Mayday strikes. Everything turns out okay with Rose and their unborn child, and he reports that her father got away safely. "You need to end this brazen assault," she tells him. "End her." She blames her complications on the sedatives June and Mayday put in the cake. Tuello and Mayday use the Boston Globe building as their headquarters, and that's where June heads once she's changed clothes. Pretty much everyone is surprised to see her, but all June wants to know is what their next step is. We learn that Phoebe is actually a CIA agent, which explains the ease with which she wielded her weapons. She and Tuello are trying to find the extremist commanders who survived and finish the job before they do something violent in retribution. And while Lawrence may know where those men are, Tuello can't reach him, so their best bet is Serena, who's in protective custody nearby. June finds her former mistress and Noah in a church's sanctuary. She's surprised that Serena is happy that she's alive. "I need to know where the commanders are who survived," June says, and Serena lies that she doesn't know where they're meeting. June looks at her with disdain. "You're asking me to put a target on my husband's back," Serena says, but June counters that husband tried to kill her earlier that day. "Is that the kind of father you want for your son?" When June starts talking about how God trusts them to raise their kids in a world filled with love, and how the commanders want a world filled with grief and more suffering, it's over. Serena's eyes fill with tears as she gives up the commander's flight plan that evening, which Lawrence told her earlier. June thanks her and leaves. The soldiers Tuello left stationed at Commander Lawrence's bring him to the Globe, where he reports that the commanders, including Wharton, are planning to bomb Boston. Tuello and June want him to place an altitude-triggered bomb on board the plane the commanders will ride that evening. "I'm an economist. I'm not James Bond," he protests. "If we let them get away, it's over. They win for sure," Tuello says starkly. When Lawrence hesitates, June says she will go with him. At the hangar, June tells Lawrence that courage looks good on you. Then he takes the briefcase and approaches the plane, just as the cars carrying the other commanders pull up. June ducks down behind her car as Wharton and the other idiots show up. They board the plane, but Lawrence hesitates. "Are you with us, Commander?" Wharton wonders, paused at the steps. "After you," Lawrence says, having made his decision. Just before stepping into the aircraft, he peers back into the darkness where June is hiding and places his hand on his chest, a farewell. After Lawrence boards, one more commander drives up. It's Nick. He doesn't see June, who is having feelings of all kinds while crouched next to the sedan, and he pauses at the top of the jet's steps as if he sensed something, but then moves on and enters the plane while June silently cries, in shock, in the corner of the hangar. Guess you decided to join the winners, Nick says as he sits down next to Lawrence. What about all of your plans? Lawrence is on the verge of losing his stuff, but he merely says, someone better than I will have to see them through. As the plane begins to taxi, Nick quietly asks, is she all right? And Lawrence knows exactly whom he means. Can't keep a good woman down, he says. Nick adds that June told him several times to give this all up, and Lawrence responds, you should have listened to her. June walks out of the hangar to watch the plane take flight. When the explosion comes, we see the light reflected on her face, and then fiery pieces of the wreckage start to fall to the earth.